What did it rescue? Who did it help? Answer me this question. Is America better off today than they were 2 years ago?
Blocking traffic, honking their horns to protest some of the strictest rules in the country. Rules which include bans on all gatherings outside a single household, travel to in-state vacation homes, and the use of motorboats. Also, dramatic reductions in capacity for stores big and small.
Fuck you! What are you gonna fucking do?
Hold back! Hold back! This is an order of dispersal. You are subject to arrest.
House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy is lashing out on the House floor in a video clip that you might think is quite old. After all, if you do the math, 2 years ago was 2020, perhaps the most chaotic, disastrous, death-filled year any of us remember, right? But no, he is in fact saying today that 2 years ago, things were much better.
Is America better off today than they were 2 years ago?
Thankfully, people like Democratic Representative Don Beyer rightfully are calling him out, reminding him that 2 years ago we were in the middle of the deepest recession since the Great Depression. We had no COVID vaccines, and the unemployment rate was more than double what it is now. And that's not to mention the millions of Americans who took to the streets despite the pandemic to stand up against police brutality, and on the other side, lockdowns. Watching videos from the summer of 2020 feels so bizarre, as those feelings of fear and uncertainty immediately bubble up for all of us, I'm sure. And of course, there are a lot of things that are still deeply unjust in our society today, but nothing right now compares to the feeling of 2 years ago, not wanting to leave your house and just waiting for that unemployment check to clear. So for context, the California unemployment rate in July of 2020 was 13.5%, and as of this June, it's at 4.2. That doesn't mean everything in the economy is amazing, and it's important to note that even if we're backing away from a recession as it seems, many American people are still struggling. But McCarthy is doing the most annoying thing politicians do, and that is casting immediate scorching blame for things on the president, who just 2 years ago they said weren't the president's fault. It happens the minute the other party is in the Oval Office, and it's what truly makes our country's politics brain-breaking. Because make no mistake, Democrats do this as well. They're doing it right now with Biden and gas prices, and I think we all can agree that while it's not a huge deal and it's always gonna happen, it's so annoying. But I think we also can agree that in many ways we have recovered from what truly was the bottom of the pit in 2020. I mean, just remembering when there wasn't a life-saving COVID vaccine and when everyone in the service sector had been fired, many without pay. It was constant mayhem. And that was without Donald Trump being an absolutely ineffectual leader and totally unable to unite us as Americans fighting a deadly virus. And again, even to see things from the right's point of view, they were constantly angry in 2020 about the shutdowns, vaccine mandates, you name it. And if you asked a hardcore Republican what they were feeling in 2020, it probably was anger and fear about mask mandates and stores shutting down, etc. It's clear that McCarthy's doing the oldest trick in the political playbook because he knows his side doesn't have any winning policies to look forward to. Because that's obviously what's going on here. He's trying to distract us from the fact that the Republicans are now facing an unexpectedly uphill midterm season, and they have nothing to offer the American people. If he thinks that 2020 was great all around, and we definitely should be very worried about what happens if the Republicans take over any more power in Washington. Thanks so much for watching. You can follow me on all platforms at Caro Johnson 917.